Hi there, my name is Innocent, and today's video is a bit out of the ordinary for what I've been posting as of recently. I know I've spoken about me and the paranormal in the past on my channel, but I wanted to speak on it once again. For starters, I believe in the paranormal and the afterlife, a ghost, poltergeist, what one might consider demons, and much, much more. I have believed in this ever since I can remember, and I doubt it will ever stop because I'm rather sensitive to the paranormal. I've seen, heard, and conversed with things that cannot be explained otherwise. One could call me a psychic when it comes to these things. I don't. Ghosts have been a staple in my life ever since I was very young. When being told stories of my quote-unquote imaginary friends, things just don't add up. A specific one was a little boy around my age at the time that played with me in my front yard that I thought lived across the street. Those neighbors were very adamant that they had no children. Spooky. I don't have many memories from my childhood, especially around the paranormal, since it was normal to me. But I will share today one that sticks out and has yet to be buried. I grew up in an older house, built in the 70s-ish, if I remember correctly. It was a cute little one-story house that was painted pink and white. The front of the house held the kitchen, the living room, and the computer room, while there was a hallway connecting the 3 bedrooms and 2 baths that were in the back. I remember the layout far too clearly, so I figured this would help with the story. I also made it in The Sims. My room in specific had a direct line of sight through the hallway and all the way to the front of the house and living room. There was a specific entity in that house that hated children, or at the very least, anyone under the age of 20. At the time, I had no idea about shadow people, but he was one of them. He stood about 7 feet tall and was just a big black silhouette of a hulking man. His favorite spot to be in the house was in the front corner of the living room, surrounded by the windows, slightly hunched over, also known as indirect line sight of my room. I would see him constantly, especially since I was a little nerd that loved to hang out in the computer room, and that space was open to the living room and about 5 feet from the entity's favorite hangout spot. During the day, or when other people were awake, he was intimidating, but rarely did he move from his little corner. I would feel like I was being watched, and when looking to the corner, see him. I could never tell if he was actually looking at me, but it sure felt like he was. Yet, once the sun set and I was the last to be awake, he would attack. Not to sound, anticlimactic. Just thought it sounded better. Anyway, one specific night in particular I remembered rather well. I was up late, a Saturday I believe, chatting away on my laptop with some friends in my room. My dog was laying across my threshold of my room to the hallway, and I started getting ready to go to sleep. So I go out to the kitchen, grab a glass of water. We had one of those plastic water fountains that you had to put the giant blue jugs on top of, and it was put directly next to the hallway, but still in the kitchen. About where this calendar is in the Sims model thing. Anyway, I'm filling up my glass of water, and I just get an uneasy feeling in the pit of my stomach. A ball of anxiety that something is wrong and that I shouldn't be there. My mind thinks logically first and goes, "Oh God, did somebody break in?" My eyes were already adjusted to the dark since I didn't turn on any lights in the kitchen or the living room or the hallway, so I slowly turn around to look at the kitchen and living room, just to see if anybody's there, because if somebody was there, I would scream and wake up my entire family because, oh my God, somebody's in the house. What I was faced with was this entity, not even 5 inches from me, hunched over so that what should have been its face was at my height. Its arms were outstretched as if it was about to pounce on me in a tragic hug, or a glomp, as some nerds might remember it called. In that moment of being face to face with this thing, I heard my dog start growling from behind me. Instead of screaming, like a normal person, I knew knew that not everyone can see what I see, and I didn't want to look like an idiot. So I booked it to my room. I mean, obviously my dog saw whatever it was, so that gave me a bit of clarity. When in my room, I noticed that the dog was now standing in my doorway, facing the hallway, still growling. Looking up, I see that the entity had followed me and was now in a stare-off with my dog, while still in the hallway. Unsure about what might happen next, I finished getting ready for bed. This wasn't so out of the ordinary that I needed to stop everything and focus on this. It was rather scary though, but again, not that out of the ordinary. Once I was done getting ready and went to turn off the bedroom light, which light switch was right next to the door, I saw that the entity went right back to its corner and that I could feel that it was really angry. And, well, since it was back in its corner, I went to bed. Not really worried about it anymore, I guess. It's an odd story, I know. And it's not like a scary, haunting story that you'd hear about on the internet, like all the viral ones, but real life is usually different from fiction. And that night, at least for me, was terrifying. Might not be now recounting it, but that's how these stories mostly go. Mostly, I wanted to wrap this up on saying that the paranormal is not always what you see in the movies or on TV. Everyone's experiences with it are different. Whether you believe in the paranormal or don't, these energies, these entities, these people are all around us, and sometimes, just sometimes, they don't like us living folk.